for Pinkfresh Studio. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining us. Today I'm super excited to share a project with you. We're using the Pinkfresh Studio Wildflower Bouquet stamp set. We're going to die cut out our flowers with the coordinating die set, and then we'll also use the Wildflower Bouquet stencil set to color in our flowers. We're going to jump in and get started. We're going to start by doing some stamping. I went ahead and placed my florals and also my greeting that says today is a good day to have a good day in my stamping positioner. I'm going to be using my Pinkfresh Studio Licorice ink to ink up my images today. I'm going to stamp this on some white cardstock. Go ahead and use my press tool here. Lovely. I'm going to stamp it one more time. Since this is not quite black, I think twice will give me a nice dark impression. Those are our pretty florals. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I'm going to bring in my Wildflower Bouquet stencil set. This is a two-piece stencil set, and we're going to start with stencil number 1. They are indexed right here at the top. So we'll take stencil number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and layer this over my leaves and my floral. I'm just going to tape these down to my cardstock so this doesn't move. I'm going to bring in my blending brushes and my inks. The inks that I'm going to be using today are Doe, Key Lime, Coral Reef, and Peony. We're going to start with Peony here, and I'm going to add some color to our flowers here. For the daisy flower center, I'm going to bring in my Doe. And then for my leaves here, I'm going to bring in Key Lime. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my stencil while I still have it taped down. To me, this just is easier when it's on the paper to clean off. I'll remove my stencil, and then we're going to add layer number 2. In our stencil set, I do want to mention that there are the flowers that we stamped that you can stencil in, and then there's these long-stemmed leaves that you can also color in and die cut out also, but we're not going to use those on our project today. So let's take stencil number 2. We're going to line this one up. For this next set, I'm going to mix my Coral Reef and my Peony together. So first we'll take Coral Reef and we'll add some orange. I love Coral Reef. I love the pink and orange tone of this. We'll add a little color here. I'm going to add some ink to our daisy. And then I'm going to bring in my Peony and just do a little highlighting with my Peony here. That's all there is to it. I'm going to wipe off my stencil and we'll just remove this, and we have some beautifully colored in flowers. And again, you can use these to create some solid color leaf flourishes if you'd like. But I'm going to put this off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating die set for my greeting and also for my floral. I'm going to run these through my die cut machine and I will be right back. Now that our florals are die cut and our greeting, I'm going to put these off to the side. I'm going to use my rounded and braided rectangles, and I'm going to take the middle two. Using white cardstock, I will die cut out this set here, and then I'll use the smaller set and die cut that out with white cardstock. And then I'm also going to take the outline and die cut out the outline with vellum. Even though this is going to be very light behind my braided background, it just adds a little bit of softness. I'm going to go ahead and layer these together just using some adhesive. I'm going to go right behind the braid and we'll just layer these together. It's very subtle, but it does add a little bit of softness behind that braided detail. I'll do the same thing to this piece. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this and I'm going to add some adhesive behind here and we're going to layer these two together. After we have these layered together, we're going to take our florals. Okay, I went ahead and put foam tape behind 3 of my florals. We have 2 left over that we can add to the inside of the card if we wanted to. And I also put foam tape behind my greeting. We're going to start by putting all our florals off to the left here, and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the bottom of the stem area and foam tape again at the top, and we will tack these down. Maybe do a little tucking here. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to add my greeting on this bottom corner. We will tack this down. For my background, I'm using the Sunshine on My Mind 6x6 paper pad. I love this paper pad. I love how pretty this is. It's kind of soft and subtle, and it'll go perfect in the background with those white lined leaves in the background. I'm going to trim this to a card front panel, so I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer and trim it down to 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2. I'm going to use my tape runner and we're going to adhere this to the front of our A2 size card base. I like a lot of dimension on my cards, so I'm going to flip this panel over. We're going to put some foam tape behind here and then I'll place it on the front of my card base. I'm going to remove the release paper and I'm going to tack this down right in the middle. I'm going to bring in some white twine. I'm going to tie a bow with it, and then using a glue dot I'm going to add a bow to our stems here. I'm going to take my bow and using a glue dot I'm going to add it to the center where the long stems of my flowers are, and then we will tack this down. I'm just going to trim the tails of my bow a little bit, and then last but not least I'm bringing in my Pinkfresh Studio Iridescent Clear Drops. These have a real pretty iridescent hue to them. We're going to add a few bubbles just using a little bit of glue. I like to place mine first. Add a little bit of sparkle, and then for the center of my daisy, I'm going to add some white dots with a white gel pen. Wonderful, just a few little dots to add so much, but that will finish off my card today. Today we used the Pinkfresh Studio Wildflower Bouquet, and I thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.